Hi, I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Cam.
And you're listening to Coffee in the Park
with Jennifer and Cam. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Coffee in the Park with Jennifer and Cam. And we are coming to you live from the Wall Coffee Roasters in the heart of beautiful downtown Atchison. So if you hear some coffee machines whirring in the background, people talking, kids screaming, no kids today, but it's because we're coming to you live from the coffee shop in Atchison.
In beautiful downtown Atchison.
That's right. And today's beautiful.
Well, it is.
Sun is shining. It's warm.
But guess what?
What?
The long weekend's coming. And what happens on the May long weekend
it
every year?
It rains and might even snow. I don't think it's going to snow, but it looks like it's going to rain. Yeah.
And winds.
And then, you know what it is about the long weekends is this is the first long weekend of the year, so everybody
wants to go out, of course.
And then they get out to the campsite and it's like just
miserable.
Yeah.
This is why I don't camp.
No, me neither. Yeah, me neither. We don't have to get into that. If it doesn't say Hilton, I don't go type of thing.
No, but you know what? Okay, I want to quickly talk about this. Have you noticed the winds in Alberta have
lately
growing up?
Yeah.
Do you remember there being this much wind?
No, it's
or were we just oblivious to this?
You're right. No, you're right. It's global winding because
global
it's just
winding.
Yes,
not warming, but winding.
No, because I agree with you. I've never seen the winds like they've been lately in Alberta.
No,
it's crazy.
I know.
It's like even my hair gets messy.
Well,
and that's there's a lot of gel in my hair.
Not liking the wind.
No, me neither. I don't really like it. It's you gotta make sure everything's tied down on your decks and patios and all kinds of stuff.
You know what? Maybe we need to reach out to our friend Josh Clausen and
ask him. Josh,
why?
If you're listening,
why has this gotten so windy?
Why has global winding taken over?
Winding.
I want to know.
Me too.
Yeah, but anyway, today is a beautiful sunny day. And can I just say, if you listened at the very beginning, where our guests also introduce our podcast for the day, you'll notice that Jennifer and I introduced the podcast today.
Yes, we did.
Because
we are the guests today.
We are the guests. Mm-hmm. And I think we got a pretty good show coming up. But before we get into our show, I just want to say, so for you, baseball life has started again.
Oh,
you are the baseball manager again.
The official title, Cam, is off-field manager.
Off-field manager.
Apparently.
Is there an on-field manager?
I don't know.
You don't know, but you are the off-field manager.
I guess.
And so it started.
Oh, it started.
You're going.
Yeah. This weekend.
Got your wagon.
Yeah, the wagon.
Yeah, for most people that don't know, Jennifer is the manager of her son's, the off-field manager of her son's baseball team, and she has a little wagon with all your baseball.
There's a lot of stuff as the manager that you have to bring. There's a lot of responsibility.
I know.
It
sounds like it's a pretty big job.
It's an intense job, and I didn't volunteer for this. Can I just...
So let's not get started, okay?
We're going to get started a little bit.
My shattered nerves.
I am going to call out my coach, who
Yes.
has told me to do this position similar to last year.
Right.
Scott, if you're listening, I don't appreciate
because
it
because
the
you did say, maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe it was a private conversation. But I do remember after last year when it was all said and done, you said never again.
Never again.
Yeah. Never again,
No.
You said. And here we are
Here
again.
I am. What a sucker I am.
Well, it's because you love your son, you love his baseball, but I think that's a very official title, off-field manager.
I know.
Yeah.
I think I should get something. A button or something.
A button. I should get a button. That's it right there.
But listen, as we go along in the season,
you're going to fill us in.
You're going to hear tales from the field.
We may every podcast we may have during the summer while you're playing. We may have a segment called on-field Jennifer, the on-field manager segment.
Yeah.
And you're going to update us.
Oh, I will.
On things.
Yes, I will.
And stories.
Oh, there'll be stories.
Because lots of parents, their kids are in sports, and you know what? You've chosen not to just sit in the bleachers or in your lawn chair. You are there. You are actively involved.
You know what, though? So, again, we're digressing a little bit, but these sports for kids, especially at this level, if people don't step up and volunteer,
I know they don't happen.
They don't happen.
I agree. Coaches, umpires, referees, managers, all kinds of people. You got to step up.
Parents, you got to step up.
You got to. And can I just say, grandparents, maybe you can step up a little too.
Agreed.
You know, because you're coming to the games and you're just sitting back in your chair with your black socks and sandals.
Is it black socks or white socks pulled to the knee?
Well, if they're the white socks, they're the, what do you call those? The ones you wear on the airplane.
Compression?
Compression socks. But a lot of, white or black socks. Plus 30. We're just totally making fun, but it is true.
No, it is. And you know what? At the team meeting, this is what I said. I said, for all you parents, baseball this year is an active sport. It's not a spectator sport.
That's
it's
right.
a participation sport.
Involvement sport.
That's right.
Get involved.
Get involved.
Yeah, good for you. Well, hopefully, I'm looking forward to hearing the stories.
You recall the stories last year.
I do. Some of them you weren't able to tell.
No.
But this year you said you might be a little more free to share.
Agreed.
Story. And that could possibly end your manager's career.
It sure could.
But is that why you're going to tell them?
Maybe, I'm hoping.
And we have a good lawyer on standby if you need one. Yeah.
Perfect.
So,
I won't drop names.
No, we won't. Anyway, before it's going to be great. Anyway, before we get started, hey, we need to remind everybody about our sponsor. Our sponsor is Wing Snob Canada,
where the wings are fresh, never frozen, 16 different flavors, 4 rubs, and what a beautiful day to have wings.
I had wings from Wing Snob on the weekend.
Did you?
Yes, I did. I had the hot AF.
Oh.
Have you ever had those?
I know, because I don't like hot
well,
wings.
See, here's the thing. I forgot that they had buffalo, and then they have hot AF. And I just ordered hot wings. And she goes, would you like the AF? And I said, well, yeah.
Yeah.
They were hot, but were they good?
Listen, Cam, we're already talking about my heartburn today.
I know,
I don't think we could do the hot. I couldn't do the hot wings.
But they were so hot, but they were so good. They were like so tasty. And I had fries, and when I ate the fry, it tasted like the hot wing. It was so good. I loved every.
Which location did you go to?
We went to the Edgemont location because that's by my house.
Oh, the Edgemont
So we went
location.
there. Yep.
Okay.
It's right by my house because Wing Snob has 10 locations, 8 of them in the city of Edmonton, 1 in Calgary, 1 in Grand Prairie. And let me tell you, folks, after eating there on the weekend, they're just great. They are great wings, great people. The lady behind the counter was amazing, and it was awesome. So if you have not been to Wing Snob, you got to go.
You need to check it out.
You got to check it out. So check out Wing Snob Canada. Go to wingsnob.ca and check them out. Tell you where all their locations are, and their menu is awesome. And like you say, it's a beautiful day. Why not go get a whole bunch of wings, put the family out on the deck, and have wings for supper?
Why not? Do they have patios?
No, I'm saying go take them out and bring them to your house.
Okay.
And then sit on your patio.
I was going to say, Chatty, do you have patios?
Mike, maybe patios. But no, just bring them to your patio if you have a patio.
If I have to go to Grand Prairie for baseball this year,
you're going to Wing Snob?
I'm going to Wing Snob in Grand Prairie.
Just do it. Call up Mike, say I need a reservation for 30 or 40 or 60, and we're coming in.
Totally.
And have extra wings on hand, and away you go. Because those kids will eat a lot of wings.
They sure will.
Yeah. So anyway, Wing Snob, we love you. You're awesome. Thanks, Mike Chatty, for everything you do for us. And today, Jennifer, we have a very unique and a very special show.
So we always talk about this podcast, Cam, being the story behind the story.
It is. That's what it started as and still is. The story behind the story. We believe everybody has a story. Everybody.
We have so many people say, I don't have a story, but you do have a story.
And then you sit with them and start talking and you find out they have an amazing story.
That's right.
And that's why we started this podcast, because we were talking to people, both you and I, and they were telling incredible stories.
They sure were.
And we thought everybody should hear these stories because they're pretty incredible.
I know. And in today's world, who doesn't want a good story?
Exactly. So today, we don't have studio. I was going to say
in person.
In person. That's a good word.
In person.
Because our studio is the coffee shop, but we don't have an in-person guest. And so today, we are going to talk about, you and I talked about this, we are going to talk about if there was 3 guests, 3 different people that we could have on our podcast, dead or alive. That's pretty bold, isn't it? Dead or alive. dead or alive, who would it be?
Right.
So today,
who would we want to hear their story?
Right. Yeah. You and I have each picked 3 guests.
It was tough to pick just 3.
Yeah. I know. It was, and we could have probably like 20.
I know.
But these are the 3. These are the 3 that if I could have them as guests, I would love to have them on the podcast.
Okay, then I want you to start. Tell us who would be the first person that you would want as a guest on this podcast,
right.
And
so,
why?
I'm just going to throw it out there that if you're listening to us today, who would you, maybe not as a guest on who would you love to have lunch with? If you could have lunch with anybody, who would it be? Mm-hmm. Excuse me. So today for us, it's our 3 guests. So I'm going to start out the first person that I would love, if they were around, I would have loved to have had them on our podcast, and that is St. Peter.
St. Peter?
Yes.
Okay.
And I know some religious people right now, they go, well, why not Jesus? Well, yeah, okay. But St. Peter to me is amazing. And yes, he's a biblical person, a biblical character. And when I read the life of Jesus and the apostles and the disciples in the New Testament, Peter to me was absolutely amazing.
But what made him amazing?
I'll tell you why. First of all, he was a fisherman. And in those days, being a fisherman, it wasn't a very high-profile job. It was an important job because fish fed people.
True.
But it wasn't like if you were a fisherman, like you were down on the chain. You were not like, you were down on the ladder. And here was Peter. He was a fisherman. That's all he did. He was a fisherman, which means he probably didn't have much of an education. He probably, was just a normal guy and went out fishing with the guys and at night sat around, with the family and the fire and ate fish and drank wine and just, how was your fishing today? How was your boat? Did you get a new ball? That kind of stuff. And here's Peter just out doing that every day. And then one day, and the account goes like this, one day Jesus came along and saw Peter and said to Peter, hey, you in that boat over there, you, follow me. Just drop your nets and come and follow me. And the Bible tells us that he used the words, I'm going to make you a fisherman of men. And here's what blows me away. He did it. Peter dropped his net. The account goes, he dropped his nets, he dropped everything, and he started to follow a man named Jesus who he knew nothing about.
A stranger.
Yeah. And he'd probably heard rumors about this guy going around doing these things, but he didn't even know him, and he just gave it all up for this guy. And that impresses me because he knew nothing. Some might say, well, that's a little weird and that's kind of strange, but
it was
he
a
did
different
it.
time.
It was a different time.
Day.
Yeah. And he did, and so he became a disciple. If you've ever seen the picture of the Last Supper, that famous, is it Michelangelo who painted that? They're all sitting there, and Peter's there. And when you read about Peter, it says that he doubted a lot. He was a doubter, but Jesus saw something in Peter where he said to Peter one day, he said, you, Peter, you're the rock. Your name, actually, Peter, is translated rock. You're the rock, and you're going to be the rock. And I thought, the guy was a fisherman. Didn't have a PhD in anything, didn't even have a PhD in fishing, but Jesus saw enough in him that he said, you are the rock, and that meant that he was going to be the foundation and the start of the Christian church. And that's what it's turned out to be. Whether you're Catholic or Christian, evangelical, whatever you might be. And so here's Peter, this guy that Jesus had all this faith in, so much so that you're going to be the rock. But then something happened that I think is incredible. And the story goes, we know that, and we celebrate it at Easter. We talk about it at Easter. Jesus was put to death on a cross. They crucified him. And that day when that happened, and Jesus was on the cross and he was hanging there, everyone was against Jesus. And if you were a follower of Jesus, you were cowering, you were hiding, because he was the enemy. And people thought, I don't want to be associated. And somebody came up to Peter, who was a disciple. He had spent 3 years with Jesus, traveling around, learning all these kinds of things. And here he was called the Rock. And somebody said, hey, I've seen you with that guy there, Jesus. I've seen you with him. And Peter said, nope, don't know him. Nope, don't know him. 3 times. He denied knowing Jesus. Here's a guy who has left everything for this man, totally invested in him. But at this critical moment, when Peter thought, if I say, yeah, I know him, they might do the same to me that they're doing to him. The long and short of that story is that I just can't imagine And we've all done that. We've all made mistakes. We've all done silly things, dumb things, whatever. And at the end of it all, Jesus, we know, he didn't die, resurrected, and he forgave Peter. Said, it's okay, man. It's all right. It's all good. It's all good. And to me, that is one of the greatest human history stories, in that Peter turned his back on Jesus, and Jesus said, I forgive you. And Jesus went on to be something great. So I would love to have Peter here, because, now we talk about when you get to heaven, who's going to meet you at the gate?
Yeah.
Peter.
Yeah.
Peter's at the gate. That's, by the way, there's nothing in the Bible about that. But nonetheless, I would love to just talk about, here's a guy, left everything for a guy, followed him, totally bought in, then turned his back on him, then was forgiven, and went on to be somebody great.
Would you ask him if he regretted his decision at the time?
That would be my question.
Yeah.
How did you feel
right.
at that moment? Because you gave up everything.
Right.
To follow him. You invested your entire life, and he made you something. He told you you're going to be something great. And the interesting thing is, in those days, I don't know if people know this, but 11 of the 12 disciples were martyred for their death. They were killed for their faith. For their faith. 11 of the 12 were killed for their faith. And when Peter, he was imprisoned in Rome for being a Christian, and they went to put him to death. And in those days, like they did Jesus, crucifixion was the form of death, because the Romans wanted to show people, you do something wrong, here's what we're going to do to you. And they took Peter and they went to crucify him, and he said, wait a minute, I don't want to be crucified like Jesus was. I want to be hung upside down. And so Peter was crucified upside down because he didn't think he was worthy enough to be crucified like Jesus. And most people don't know that. And that's phenomenal, in the fact that he was so committed to the guy, so dedicated, even after denying him, but he was forgiven, and he gave his life for him to the point where he died for him upside down. And I'd love to talk to him about that.
Fascinating.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I know. So if I when you get to heaven, if he does meet me at the gate, I got a lot of questions.
You got a lot of questions.
Maybe we'll
do the mic with you.
We'll do the podcast in heaven, you and I. That'll be awesome.
Well, one of us might die first, so I don't know how that's going to work out.
Yeah, I can tell you it's going to be right now. Anyways, okay. So that's who I'd love to have on the podcast.
Okay, that's your first.
Okay,
guess.
Yours.
Okay, so for those that have listened to the podcast and they've heard snippets of our stories and who we are, I am from Saskatchewan.
You are.
Yes, I am. Proud from Saskatchewan.
You are.
Somebody that I think would be fascinating, and I would love to have that individual sitting across from us, again, no longer alive,
right,
is Tommy Douglas.
Tommy Douglas.
Yes. So Tommy Douglas
tell everybody, who is Tommy Douglas?
So he was the Premier of Saskatchewan from 1944 to 1961.
Yes.
That's a long run.
That in politics, that's huge.
And at the time in Saskatchewan, it was the Cooperative Commonwealth Federation of Canada. That was the party. Right? But I think under his direction, this is great. He was really the founder of Medicare in our country as we know it today.
Right. So we should just explain to people that in Canada, we have national Medicare,
right.
healthcare. We have national healthcare.
So when we go to a hospital, we don't have to pay.
No.
They accept you.
Yep. Anybody. Nobody gets turned away.
That's right.
Unlike
in some of
other countries, yes, you have to pay.
That's right.
And so that started under Tommy Douglas.
It started in the province of Saskatchewan,
where you're from.
That's right. Yeah. And eventually made its way across Canada.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
And it's coveted by countries around the world. That's right.
Absolutely.
That's why I think Canada is such a great place to live.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
There's lots of reasons, but I think that is an amazing reason.
And Tommy Douglas, it wasn't just healthcare. He was also big into making sure every Canadian's taken care of. Old age security.
Yes. He lobbied for that. He was about, love it or hate it. I'm not going to get into politics.
No.
But he was about taking care of people.
That's right.
That's what he believed in, and that's what he advocated and fought for, and I have so much respect for that.
I used to love listening. I've listened to a number of his speeches and things like that. He had a unique voice, but when he talked, you listened.
And I think that's why he was able to accomplish as much as he did, because people respected him.
Yeah.
and they listened. Yeah.
And because he started Medicare and old age security, and he was big into social assistance for people and all that kind of stuff. Because of him today, we have a country where everybody's taken care of.
Right.
I know we can say, it took too long at the hospital or blah, blah, blah. I get that. Been there, done that.
There's other reasons for that.
That's right. But Tommy Douglas wanted to make sure every Canadian was taken care of.
Absolutely. And think of where we would, I would want to ask him, where would we be today if he hadn't advocated for this?
And why? Why was he so adamant about this? What was it that he...
Exactly.
Because that it wasn't easy.
He was also a preacher, Cam.
That's right, he was.
Yeah.
He was
and kind of worked his way into politics.
Yeah.
He was also the first leader of the federal NDP.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yes.
Is that
in
right,
the 60s,
eh? Of the federal NDP.
The federal NDP.
Not just the provincial, but the federal.
Federal.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, how that has changed. And again,
we're not
going to
get into
that.
politics, but I would say today in Canada, that party is now called the NDP.
Yeah.
And, let's not get into politics, but we wish Tommy was here.
But I have to share another cool fact.
Yeah.
So, Tommy Douglas, do you know who his son and grandson are?
I don't.
Donald Sutherland and Kiefer Sutherland.
The actors?
Yes.
No, come on.
No, Donald Sutherland is Tommy Douglas's son, and Kiefer was his grandson.
I did not know that.
Isn't that cool?
That is so... I love Donald Sutherland.
I know.
Like, he a phenomenal actor. And Kiefer, he ain't too shabby himself.
Also phenomenal.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. Is that right? I didn't know that. Wow. Now, if we could have the three of them on...
Oh, what stories that would tell.
What stories that would be. Mm-hmm. Because, that I didn't know that. That's really incredible.
You can... I've heard Kiefer Sutherland talk about...
Is that right?
His grandfather.
His grandfather.
Mm-hmm. And what he accomplished.
Okay, well, you have enlightened me today. So if we could have him on as a guest, Tommy Douglas, that would be... I would be in my element.
I know, me too.
That'd be fab. Incredible.
Okay, so that's my first guess. Okay. Who's your second guess?
My second, well, it's the same as you. It's a political icon here in the province of Alberta. So I know if you're listening to us around the world, we're keying in on people here in Canada and Jennifer's province of Saskatchewan and my province of Alberta. And mine would be a guy by the name of Ralph Klein.
Ralph
Klein. And everybody knows in Alberta, if you're old enough, everybody knows about Ralph Klein.
Oh, do they ever?
Yes.
Yep.
And Ralph Klein was the premier of our province from 2009 to 2016, I think, somewhere in there. And but Ralph was amazing. He was did you know that Ralph was born in Saskatchewan?
I did.
Yeah. But they came to Alberta.
Yep.
And he went to high school, but he never finished. He went into the Air Force.
Yes.
And then he went back and finished high school. Then he went to college, and he went to a college where he actually became the principal of the college. And then he went into broadcasting. He was a news reporter.
He was.
He had some other jobs in there, but he became a news reporter in the city of Calgary. And he was a news reporter, and he covered a lot of stories. And while he was a news reporter in Calgary, he saw they were tearing down a really old kind of heritage neighborhood in Calgary, and it just ticked him right off. So he ran for mayor. And everybody thought, you're an idiot. You will never win. But he won. And he was a great mayor. People loved him. Ralph Klein, let me just say this right off the top. Ralph Klein was the kind of guy you either loved or hated.
There was no in between.
Yeah, there was no in between. You either loved him or you hated him. But anyway, he became the mayor of Calgary. He was very instrumental in bringing the Winter Olympics in 1988 to the city of Calgary. So then he was mayor for 2 terms, I believe it was, and then he decided to run for premier of the province because he saw that stuff was happening in the province that he didn't like. So he ran and he won, and he came in after a guy named Don Getty. And Don Getty was a good premier, but he was your typical kind of politician type premier, straight-laced, all that kind of stuff. Well, I don't think any premier straight-laced, but well, that's not true either. But Ralph, he was just Ralph. And he called it like it was, and he said it like it was, and it got him in trouble a few times. But he just said it like it was.
Well, he was quoted as being a man of the people.
Yep.
And, you and I know people that knew him.
Yes.
And you would find Ralph Klein, if there was a large event, you wouldn't find Ralph Klein in the event. You'd find him in the parking lot having a smoke.
That's right.
With the people in the parking lot.
Out the back or in the parking lot having a smoke.
Yeah.
Or you'd find him, he had a favorite watering hole
He did.
in Calgary. Mm-hmm. And he'd go down and there he'd be with all the guys.
Yeah.
Just sitting around having a beer and chatting. And he said that's where he learned the most about people, was in moments like that, out in the parking lot, at his favorite watering hole. And he just said it like it was. It wasn't popular sometimes. It got him in trouble sometimes. He said some things he probably shouldn't have.
He did.
But he was one of the very first premiers. Well, not the first, but one of them. He eliminated the deficit in Alberta.
He did. Yeah. What year was that? Do you remember?
Oh, I think that, I'm looking at my notes here, 2005.
Oh, was it?
And we became, at that time, the only province in the country of Canada that was debt-free.
Right.
And we were debt-free. And he eliminated the debt and actually put billions into our savings from our energy. He kept our oil and gas money. He fought for it, and we had billions of dollars in savings.
Did he start the Heritage Trust Fund?
No, he did not. I think that was Lougheed that started the Heritage Trust Fund. But they went through some rough years, excuse me, and he carried on, and he did that. And he was just a phenomenal kind of guy. Would he survive in today's political climate?
Not.
Probably not.
No.
I
don't think so.
These are all stories that are well known. So I'm not speaking out of school. He got in trouble because one time he got into a fight with a homeless guy, and he basically just was telling the homeless guy off to get a job, yada. Mm-hmm. And he had maybe one too many wobbly pops, and he got mad and he took out a pile of money in his pocket and threw it at the guy and walked away. Well, that became big news.
Oh, it did.
So if he were to do stuff like that today,
there's no way.
He ran on, well, when he was in the city of Calgary, he ran on the fact that immigrants and people were moving to Calgary because it was booming.
Yes.
And he said, they're bringing all the crime with them. Made this generalized statement, they're bringing all the crime with them. And so he didn't want them there. Well, you could imagine if a politician said that today.
Oh, absolutely not.
But
no.
He wasn't totally wrong. Maybe his delivery and his presentation was a little bit wrong, but he wasn't totally wrong. And I think that's what most people liked about him, is he just said it like it was. And he was great.
He was.
And wouldn't it be awesome to sit and interview him?
I think it'd be fascinating.
Oh, it'd be amazing. And hopefully he'd be just like he was
I think
as a politician.
Probably.
Yeah. But he went on, after he retired, he went on to support many causes, bit of a philanthropist, and his wife, who just passed away not long ago, she was an amazing philanthropist and helped many causes. So he had a huge heart. He loved our province. He loved it. He wanted to see it succeed. And he just called it like it was. And I don't know. I think it'd be great to just sit and have conversation with him. For sure. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my number 2.
Okay.
Who's your number 2?
Amelia Earhart.
Come on. Yeah.
So for those who don't know Amelia Earhart, probably this generation has no clue who Amelia Earhart is. No. Maybe our target audience of our listener knows who Amelia Earhart.
Oh, yeah, I know her. Yeah.
So she is a pioneer in aviation in general, but also for women.
Yeah.
She was the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean and the first person to complete solo flights across both the Atlantic and Pacific.
Right.
Think about that. Alone.
Yeah.
In the 30s.
And nobody had ever done that.
No.
And she did it.
Yes.
Wow.
Amazing. And think about that time.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
So she disappeared. I believe it was 1937, was never found. Tons of conspiracy theories around that.
You know what? Last week, I read about a guy who thinks he knows where her plane is.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But that, to me, that took courage. That took guts to be a woman in that era and to fly those solo trips.
Yeah, and I would guess, my guess would be a woman in that era, a lot of people, especially men, would be like, you can't do that.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing? That's a man's job. That's not your
Absolutely.
job. You
No.
shouldn't be doing that. Yeah.
No.
She was pretty amazing.
She was amazing. I think she inspired so many women to go into aviation.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I don't, we maybe talked about this once or twice way back when in the day on the podcast, but you were, for a few years, you were the executive director of
an aviation museum in Calgary.
Yeah.
Yes.
which
Absolutely.
you were a pioneer as well.
Well,
in that.
I was.
Yes.
I was the first female executive director.
Right.
And I remember getting together. There was a group called the 99s.
Yeah.
And the 99s was a group of female aviators that got together, supported one another. So I remember meeting, women pilots that were F-18 pilots and commercial pilots and bush pilots and all of these great things.
Yeah.
It was just so inspirational. And I think it's taken it, so far. And I think Amelia Earhart helped drive that generation.
Yeah. I
have so many questions.
Yeah, wouldn't that be that'd be a fascinating interview? I mean, the most fascinating part of that interview would be, where are you? Where did you go down? Where's your plane?
Yeah.
Because you're right.
Oh, well, the conspiracy theories are...
They're everywhere.
Yeah. That she didn't die, that she got remarried and changed her name. I'm like, okay.
She's living today in Brazil.
And like Elvis.
And like Elvis, that's right. And there's tickets for her at the box office
I know.
if you ever,
I know.
Yeah. No, that would be absolutely... And the other thing, I'm just going to bring it back to you. The other thing is people don't know this about you. I don't think we've ever really... Actually, maybe we did once. You also were a pilot. You had
Not
your
professionally.
But you had your pilot's license.
Yeah.
You were flying around. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It was cool.
I just saw yesterday on LinkedIn, the picture of a mother and her daughter who were commercial airline pilots for the same airline, and on Mother's Day they flew together, and I thought that was pretty cool.
It is super cool.
And I think you're right. I think Amelia Earhart had a big part of that.
She had a huge part in that.
Yeah.
If she wouldn't have taken that risk and done what she did,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it would have taken us a lot longer to get where we are in aviation.
Right. So all you youngsters who have never heard of Amelia Earhart,
Look
there's
it
a
up.
few movies out there.
There are.
Watch them, because
Yes.
it's a really, really
It's a great story.
And one day they might find her plane. I don't know. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, but one day they might. And I think that'd be cool if they did, just to say, okay, here it is. This is what happened.
Yeah. Obviously, that was before the days of the black box trackers.
Yes. No GPS.
No GPS.
No GPS. No. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow. I like that. That'd be a great guest.
I know.
Man.
Yeah.
What story behind the story there?
Right?
I bet there is.
I bet you there is too.
Yeah.
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 So guess number 3 for you.
Okay, this one is very personal to me, and if I could, so this is kind of funny to say. I'd like them as a guest, but I'd like to just talk to them, and that is, I would like to talk to my dad, and that is because I never knew my dad. My dad passed away, died when I was just 2 years old. So I don't have any recollection, or I don't remember my dad at all. My dad had ulcers, and in those days there was no cure for ulcers, and so instead of medication, they would do surgeries. Excuse me. And my dad had 3 major surgeries, and in the third one, he just couldn't do it, and he died. I was 2 years old when that happened, and my mom tells me, and my relatives tell me too, that I was so young that I didn't even go to his funeral. One of my cousin's babysat me at home, and so I never knew my dad. And the reason I say my dad is because my mom passed away a couple years ago, and honestly, we never talked about my dad in my growing up years very much. We did from time to time, but not very much, and I'm not sure why, and my mom just chose to do that. And truthfully, there was a stage in my life where I never really asked any questions, because my mom was so amazing, and I often said my mom gave me the love as one parent that many kids didn't even get as 2 parents. And so that was pretty amazing. And so my mom really loved me. Plus, I had men in my life, my uncles, my Uncle Les, my Uncle Johnny. I had men in my life and other people, Herb Walters and those kinds of people, who really took me on like a son. and it was amazing. And it wasn't until I reached about 38, 39 years old, I started having this sense that my dad died at 40 and maybe I was going to succumb to the same fate. And I had to work through that. And that was really tough for me. But then 40 came and went, and I'm still here. And then when my mom passed away a couple years ago and we were going through her stuff, we came through a lot of stuff about my dad that I did not know. And I knew my dad was in the Army, but I didn't know much about that. Learned all about that. And my mom and dad, when I was born, started a business in Grand Prairie, Alberta, a credit bureau business. And then my dad died, and my mom was left with the business and had to sell it and all those kinds of things. And I don't know much about my dad, and I would love to just one day sit for an hour, half an hour, maybe on a podcast, and just talk and ask my dad a whole bunch of questions.
Well, that only makes logical sense. Yeah. And again, I think too, this was rekindled for you when you found that stuff when your mom passed away.
Yeah, it was. And again, I don't know why my mom chose. We didn't talk about it much, and I guess I didn't ask about it much. And yeah, you just want to know, right? Yeah, and I don't know. I'm not the only person in this boat.
No.
And again, if I could just have them for an hour, there's a million questions I'd ask them. People who knew my dad, my family, often said, "Well, you're like your dad in that respect." Or my mom always said that my dad was a chef, a cook, and I loved the barbecue, but that was my dad's specialty, and I love barbecuing, and that's a big thing for me. And I guess I just want to ask him a whole bunch of questions about him and about about me. And at 2 years old, what he thought about having a son. My mom tells me he had some unique names when I was born that he wanted to name me. And they were all after football players in the U.S. And they were too unique, I guess. And,
that wasn't going to happen.
No, it ended up being Cameron because it was a good friend of his, but he had some other unique names. And yeah, so I guess if that's one person I could have sitting at our table with us, I'd love to have my dad.
That'd be an amazing. Yeah.
So.
Okay. Your mind's going to be blown by my third guest. You're not gonna see this one coming.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Gordon Lightfoot.
Come on.
Yeah.
I love Gordon Lightfoot.
Again, for our younger listeners.
Yeah, that's right.
I always have to preface this because everybody I've mentioned, they're who?
But, keep going, yeah.
Okay. Gordon Lightfoot is a Canadian legend.
Icon.
He is a musical icon.
100%.
In the late 60s, early 70s, Gordon Lightfoot was it.
Oh, he was.
He wrote some of the most incredible songs of that generation, but of this generation, I'm going to say it today.
Well, anybody who listens to Yacht Rock Radio, they play his stuff all the time.
I wrote some down because I didn't want to miss any.
Yes.
And I'm going to, Carefree Highway.
Yes.
The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Okay, listen. The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald was so famous, it made it into a Seinfeld episode.
I know.
And so if you watch, they talk about the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald in a Seinfeld episode.
I learned history by listening to the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Because it's a true story.
It's a true story.
Yeah.
If
One
you
of my
haven't
favorite
heard
songs.
Get on Apple Music, get on Spotify, and take a
Download
listen.
it and listen to it. Absolutely.
Sundown.
Right? Yeah, Sundown. Yeah.
Rainy Day People.
Oh, Rainy Day People.
Right. Yep. You're going to be singing these all day.
Oh, I know. It's going to be in my head now. It's going to be stuck in my head the whole time.
One of my favorites. Okay, this is also how I learned Canadian history. The Canadian Railroad Trilogy. Do you remember that one?
Okay. I'm sure I've heard it.
Listen, we're going to put in some snippets in this podcast because you'll know.
We'll see if we can do it.
It's about the building of the Canadian National Railroad across Canada.
Okay, yeah.
And it's so good.
Yeah. Wow.
And there's so many more I could go on about.
Yeah. but I watched, a couple years ago, I watched a documentary on him, and it was fast. How he got his start, where he got his start. Like,
I believe he was married 3 or 4 times.
Yes, and he, for years, just played little honky-tonk bars. He did. Like in Canada and the U.S.
And played almost up to the end of his life.
Yes, that's right.
He would just have to sit.
Matter of fact, here's my Gordon Lightfoot story. He was scheduled to come to River Cree. Oh,
yes. I remember that.
We had tickets to River Cree, and he was scheduled to come to River Cree, and then he got sick, and he couldn't come. And, of course, we got our money back. But I was so looking forward to that.
I know.
Because that would have been amazing.
Oh, I would just... Because he wrote those songs.
Well, and you know what? They're iconic songs.
They are iconic songs.
Not just in Canada, but around the world. And... that would be a podcast that would probably go on for about 6 hours.
I agree.
We could just talk. And he'd bring his guitar.
When we go back to the Ralph Klein and the Olympics, Gordon Lightfoot kind of was the head performer at the 88 Olympics.
At the 88 Olympics, that's right. Mm-hmm. Wow, yeah, I love Gordon Lightfoot. And you know what? His music transcends all ages.
It really does.
Like, it really does. It doesn't go out of style.
But Cam, what I like about his music, again, it's just... It is storytelling.
Yeah. It's the story behind the story.
Right?
Because nobody knew that about the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Music isn't story.
Yeah.
I know I'll get into trouble for saying this, but that was true storytelling and art
because in today's
form.
music, they repeat the same word 7,000 times. Yeah. But his was the story behind the story.
Yeah.
Whether it was the Railroad or the Edmund Fitzgerald or other songs. And when you watch the documentary, he would talk about every song that he sang and wrote, and it was a story.
It was a story.
There was a reason for it.
There was a reason.
Whether it was in his personal life. And the other thing that amazed me in the documentary is how many at the time, how many music stars he was connected with and knew him and talked about him and said, my music was inspired. By Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canadian.
Like, he was friends with Bob Dylan.
I know.
Like, amazing. And, yeah, unbelievable.
Again.
That's a good one.
There's some great things that have come out of Canada.
I'm telling you. There you have it. The 3 guests. Jennifer would love to have.
Yes.
The 3 guests Cam would love to have. And all of them, I think, good. And so, again, I'm bringing it back to you. If you could sit down and have lunch with anybody, who would it be?
Who would it be?
Email us, text us. Do we have a text? No, email us.
We do.
We do have a phone.
Don't ask me what the number is.
I don't know. I don't.
It's on our website.
Remember we go because
it is.
Is it on the website?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's hilarious. Go to our website, www.coffeeinthepark.com, and text us or email us. If you could have lunch with anybody, who would it be?
Yeah.
And
everybody's got somebody.
Everybody's got somebody. And we gave you 3 today. I bet both of us could go on go on and on and on. So, hey, kind of cool. So, hey, hope that kind of brightens your day a little bit and gets you thinking a little bit. And, hey, make sure you tell everybody about this podcast. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies, tell anybody, even people you don't know about the podcast, because it's so amazing. And make sure that you
subscribe, and then you won't miss a new episode of Coffee in the Park with Jennifer and Cam.
Subscribe, and make sure today you go to Wing Snob, get some wings.
That's right.
Or in the next couple days.
And if you're traveling, you're hauling your camper this May long weekend, drive safe.
Drive safe out there. And when you're sitting by the campfire, as the stars overhead, well, unless it's cloudy, and you're just sitting there and rainy, and you got your earbuds in.
Put on a little Gordon Lightfoot.
Or a little Gordon Lightfoot or a little podcast and listen.
Yeah.
And away we go. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you all next week.
Thanks, everyone.